Hello everyone, No Life here, and it has been about a week since they went and hotfixed that nightmare of an update. I was supposed to commemorate the 1 year anniversary of the game at that, so geesh, I don't know where to start here. So I guess I'll start from good to bad. So first and foremost, we have Danny's new skin. They have finally released that skin for PlayStation. I've seen it here and there with Steam players, at least from streams. I didn't see anyone using that skin during the Nightmare update when I was playing, but he has a multitude of colors here, and I'm gonna say what I said the same, or sorry, same time. Last time I looked at the skins when they put the teaser image out, and again, they all just looks fantastic. I ended up going with the red one here just because when I was previewing the skin itself was the last on the list, so I said F it. But I personally don't like the red one too much. I prefer the yellow and red one, and then the little baseball Yankee looking design. That one looks better to me as it feels like it's better texture, whereas the solid color ones they look a little off. Like I don't know, I feel like the color they used didn't quite mesh right with the textures of the skin itself, so it just looks a little funky to me. I don't know, I can't really describe it, but it still looks good on Daddy though. It's a very cool skin, mainly because it looks so different from the other outfits he has on, but somehow Daddy makes it work. But moving on, we of course have the free Saw skins for Leatherface as well. So they all look pretty good, honestly. For so free skin, I'm definitely not complaining. Well, free skins, I'm definitely not complaining about any of them. I'd probably still have to go with the bloody one, even though it looks so similar to the rusty one. I still just like the way it looks. The rusty one, although it looked good with the bloody Leatherface skin, it still looked a little off. So it's good that we have a full-on bloody skin to go with that skin now. Just wonder if they'll ever do any bloody skins for the other family members' weapons as well. I mean, for the most part, I think the other ones kind of have blood on their weapons, though. Except Johnny. I don't believe Johnny's has a bloody looking skin, but eh. Moving on. We're going to focus on the here and now, not the what if or whatever. But I think that's really about the only positive things I can say about this update. Them finally going ahead and adding these skins. I mean, I believe I briefly kind of touched up on the update itself last week when I mentioned for the most part they fixed all the issues we had with that nightmare patch. But there are still some issues I remember people reporting on that still seem to be present. And although they're not game breaking, they still are big enough of an issue that whenever we get a patch, I'm assuming in September here, which is going to be sometime next week, give or take, they fix some of these issues as they definitely are things that I can see getting pretty old pretty fast. So starting out, we're going to go with the issues and barging the doors. This is one I noticed immediately last week during my playthroughs when I was trying to barge through doors and it was taking longer than it should have. So I initially thought that this was, just the game being buggy from the Nightmare update, as that's when I first noticed it. But then when I played again, days after the hot fix came out, I noticed it was still there. So now it started sinking that yeah, this is a real thing. So basically, the issue with this is this is how you know this is a huge issue. You see here in this clip, I'm using Johnny, the guy who has a passive to always break the door down in one try. You press the button to bars the door, he still leans up against the door like he needs to press one more time to break it, and it's true. It's because you do. If I didn't press the square button to break the door a second time, I'd be sitting there all day. You then have this same issue that appears with victims. I don't have a clip of Leland doing it in game, but I can assure you I had Leland with about 43 shrift, and it took me 3 taps to barge the door when it shouldn't have took more than two. I then started to get curious and wanted to see if I can have this happen again on a private game. And to my surprise, this is only an issue when you are playing on live servers. When I went to a private game, both as Johnny and Connie. So this again, this issue happens on both victim and family side. 50 strength Connie, I broke the door down immediately every time I tried. Johnny, I tried going into the basement and upstairs to break doors to see if maybe this is a basement issue because that's where I had that issue happen with Johnny in the basement. And again, nope, it worked just fine both those areas. So this just goes to show once again they are clearly testing stuff on private servers instead of live servers when they first put in these fixes um, during their own time or whatever. So if Sumo's watching this, seriously, Sumo, you guys can't test things in private servers. This is glaringly obvious. You guys only test things in private servers now because this is the only way all of these issues have been sliding past QA is if you guys are testing stuff in private servers instead of a public game. I don't know if they can't test in a public game because maybe it would bleed into live servers for the game, but like this is ridiculous that the doors break fine during the private games, but not in the public games. And then also another small issue I noticed is they brought back the sound bug with doors in private games only. Funnily enough, where once you actually barge the door open, it doesn't make the loud bang sound, which can lead to issues where the family could barge the door and then get a hit or two off on you because you didn't hear it bust open. I also mentioned last week that there was an issue with Danny where his footsteps weren't making noises. I don't know if this is a spectating issue or only certain victims, but I noticed it with Connie too. So you see here while spectating Connie, she is completely silent. So again, these little issues here don't seem too major, but when they start to add up, again, you can start to see how this could be annoying on both sides, where just someone not making noise where they previously should have can cause them to slip by you. That's just Connie here. We know how broken she is. There's no time they'll ever fix her, so you don't need Connie, let alone Danny, having any advantages over other victims that can get them out even easier than they already do in game now. Now, another issue that it's not a big deal. Plus, I've actually honestly been hearing people say that the Blood Moon map seems to have been disabled, but regardless, for some reason you can see shadows from upstairs. So if someone's on the second floor in the family house here, you can see their shadows. So they can't hide up there. You know exactly where they are, and you can go and easily get them. So uh, never mind the fact that this game, this map looks like the Virtue Boy. If you guys know that, the old Nintendo console was the first attempt at 3D game console, whatever. That map looks like that. It's just brutal on the eyes, but now you can see victims on the second floor. But moving on past that minor little thing there, we also have something that, although I can't confirm, but just from my playthrough experiences on both sides, I think they messed up the shrimp attribute even more than it already is. So it's not even necessarily the whole barging the door thing. That's not shrimp related. That's just an interaction issue. Because again, the first barge on both victim and family doesn't count for barging the door. It's only the subsequent barges that count. So it still takes 5 barges and then 4 for hands. Of course, the extra barge for Johnny. When they're breaking the doors down, it's just again that first tap doesn't work, so it makes it 6 and 5 for everybody, and then 2 for Johnny. But it's just really grapples. Grapples is where I'm really noticing some issues. As I usually don't win too many grapples on the family side unless the victim is like practically dead or I have grip on. I had plenty of if what's the word I'm looking for? Instances where I have been able to beat victims without grapple very easily. You have this first clip here. I see Maria grabbing bones, so you already know she has her default 30, which is more than enough for you to win a grapple, especially at full health. I try to play around, see if I can hit her at least once before she grapples me. You see it's something out of the whole upcoming L I'm about to take it. To my surprise, I ended up beating her in a grapple. I mean, I come from a fighting ground background and what have you, so I can mash, but usually mashing doesn't always guarantee I win. Only and again, there's certain circumstances where they're low on health and whatnot. But I managed to beat her. Same thing with Anna, and Anna's more prone to run a full strength build than Maria is. Since for some reason everybody wants to run proficiency builds on Maria, despite the fact you have to put all your points into it. But I blame that on the devs giving her the same stats as Anna, which doesn't fit her playstyle or character. But yeah, I was able to also beat on in the grapple, which you never hear of. So again, you know something's wrong if you're easily beating honors and grapples. I then go on a victim. I not only spectate other people grappling, but I do a few grappling myself on both Maria and Connie with full strength builds. And again, I was able to win these fights, but it felt a lot closer than they should have been. So there's definitely something going on. And also, I want to point out on one of the instances, I can confirm they didn't have a grip on. I'm not too sure about the Connie game. I show after or during this little video of mine, but I could definitely confirm with the Maria one. I even showed in the beginning of the game 50 strength. I'm using 50 strength for Maria. This is not 30. They don't have grip. I confirm that because with the Leland clip I'm about to show off here, I sweet talked Grandpa earlier on in the game before sweaty hands got me in the basement. But when they finally fed Grandpa the one where they more than likely had grip on, Grandpa's only just now screaming, and the hands almost beat me earlier. So and also, look, he almost beat Leland. He has been working on Perkle, so you know Leland's at least 47 strength. So, again, although grip is pretty strong now, it's not so strong that you should get that close to beating someone in the grapple. So, they definitely need to go look into grapples if something's going on with them. And I believe I mentioned it last week about Connie seemingly being bugged and having a higher default strength than she should be. I think that still is sticking because, as you see in these clips here, I have Connie lower health. I think Grandpa might have been level 1. I could be wrong, but regardless, especially with this bug going on, you think I should be losing these grapples, and no, I'm winning them still. So something's not right with Connie. They have to look into her strength and put it to the appropriate 15 strength values for grapples. That's the only thing that seems to be affected. Everything else seems to be fine, but the grapple aspect. But I guess this could be a blessing in disguise, as much like the endurance attribute breaking being what they needed to finally look at the endurance and actually buff it accordingly. As before, endurance was literally only good for standard regeneration. Now, thanks to numerous videos and whatnot, testing from other content creators and stuff, I could definitely say endurance is overall buffed. There's even been comparisons to how old endurance worked with jumpstart and without jumpstart, and 50 endurance is the equivalent of running jumpstart now, and then if you run jumpstart with it, it's even more ridiculous. So again, endurance is very much a valuable attribute to put into where strength it's really good for stunning. Well, it was only good for longer stuns, easier chance at grapples, and of course the gens. I mean, you're not gonna really have too many instances with victim where bars and doors go to really come in handy. It's just a nice little touch, but again, I'm going to show off the whole list of what the strength attribute can do. And I want you guys, especially more of you aggressive players, to look at this list and say, have you ever seen everything on this list come into play? More notably, the whole open and cross spaces or the longer stuns from winning a grapple. The grapples are not longer at all from higher strength when you win them, unless you run choose fight. And the opening speed for crawl spaces are not faster. For some reason, every time I mention this to people, they always say, "Oh, stealth helps you open it faster." No, stealth does not. Does not make you open crawl spaces faster. It just makes it so you don't make as much noise when you open the crawl spaces. Less noise does not equal speed. I don't know how people get that mixed up. But that being said, I believe that's just about it. I don't think there's anything else to really cover here. There is this little one small bug I had that I've seen other people mention as well. That's you having your camera angle just jerked up to the ceiling when you get off the restraints. But that's minor. It doesn't really affect anything. It's just and a visual bug that they should maybe look into. But we actually got some news on the Rush Week mode. Finally, it has been confirmed that Rush Week is going to be a 1 versus 6 mode, where it is Johnny versus 6 other victims, which appear to be sorority sisters. So I'm going to assume they're going to have like 6 unique characters for this mode. Whether they have abilities or not is to be decided. These characters probably won't ever make it over to the core game mode, but I personally am very excited, number one, to see this map, but also it appears we're going to be getting a skin around this new mode as well. I'm going to assume the skin's probably itself going to release along with this mode, and maybe they'll force you to play in the skin during the game mode. I'm not sure, but one thing a lot of people point out is the fact that there are pumpkins present on the house. So this may be a tease that this mode is going to officially release in October and it's going to release early access in September. That's my guess. But what I'm really hoping from all of this is that they finally use this as an excuse to push out that Johnny rework that they mentioned we were going to be having like 6 or 9 months ago. As I don't know why it took them so long to rework Johnny when there's really not too much you need to do to rework him, in my opinion. But any dev studio here, so um, I can't think of again anything else to really mention. I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but if I did, I'm going to mention it now. They did put a tweet out posting that they are going to be changing the cadence of their updates. So instead of the every 2 week update schedule that we've gotten previously, now it's going to be every month with a hotfix put in when needed. A lot of people kind of freaking out about this. Personally, I don't think it's a bad idea to doing this at all because this is what a lot of AAA game studios do. Even DBD does it. So usually you get one big update a month, then they'll have I guess you call it a hot fix the week after because it's DBD. Something always needs to be fixed immediately after. So besides this update for the anniversary, they for the most part, Sumo and Black Tower they've been pretty good with not adding bugs into the game and whatnot with their updates. So I don't even think they really would even need more than one update a month. It's just as long as they stop putting out mediocre updates that we've been getting since they've done this, I'll be fine. How nice it is to get a new update every 2 weeks. You guys gotta admit, seeing one update do a fix to a puddle on a map and and then add, being able to start private games by yourself. Another one would be they buff 1 or 2 perks and then they fix Maria's texture so that breaks her eye somehow. It's not much to look forward to anyway. So besides cosmetics and execution packs or whatever, hopefully actual fixes and improvements to the games and new modes or what have you will breathe new light into this game. As I can already say, there is one game I'm very much looking forward to coming out in December. So unless TCN can really start cooking these next few months, I honestly probably won't be putting out too many more videos for this game. We'll see how many videos I could churn out in the meantime. As with them not putting out an update every 2 weeks, that's definitely going to change up the pace of the videos I put out. I'll probably try to put one gameplay video out at the end of the week and then like just a main discussion video or news video, whatever combination, you know, a week or whatever. But we'll see. But this video is starting to get pretty long, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been No Life, and as always, if you haven't already, get a life.